Hi everybody, my name's Rebecca. I am a mama of one little boy who's just turned 3, Ezra, and I live in Victoria in Australia, up in the Strathbogie Ranges. We live in a self-built tiny house, and we live on the land, on a family homestead. We communally grow our food together with my partner's parents, and we're second generation homeschoolers, unschoolers, whatever you want to call it. So I'm one of four girls. I'm the oldest of 4 girls from the UK. My mum was a school teacher and then studied as a Montessori teacher when we lived in the US, and went on to have my 3 much younger sisters. They were born when I was 13, 16 and 20 years old, and she ended up unschooling all of my sisters. So I was the only one of 4 girls who went through the whole school system. And then my partner Tom is fully unschooled, has never stepped foot in a classroom, never done any exams, school exams. So yeah, I would consider us second generation homeschoolers, unschoolers, whatever you want to call that. So yeah, we've known that we wanted to homeschool our little guy Ezra since preconception. Having gone through the school system myself, I know the pros and the cons, having seen how it is for my sisters. And yeah, from a young age, I knew that I wanted to homeschool my future children if I could. And my partner Tom was very clear that he wanted to homeschool his kiddos and wanted to be actively involved in that as well. So but that is a little debrief of us. And yeah, Ezzy has just turned 3 years old a few weeks ago, so I feel like we're just heading into that kind of homeschooly vibes with him. It's been happening since birth anyway, because children are natural learners, but some of his friends are starting to go more and more to childcare and kinder, and I can really feel that we're in this transition period where the divide, the homeschool school divide, is starting to kind of come into place. So I'm feeling called to build homeschool community around me in my local area. I've been working on setting up a homeschool group with like-minded mamas and other families. So I've been working on that, and also I've been just looking at the different ways that I feel would be most beneficial for our family at this stage to start integrating some more defined like homeschool rhythms, I guess, into our lives. I, up to this point, have been very much just incorporating simple Waldorf style rhythms into our daily life, not only for Ezzy's benefit but also for my own. I find a huge amount of benefit with connecting in with the seasons and having those daily rhythms and weekly rhythms and seasonal rhythms in my life as well. So that's been the kind of extent, I guess, of any kind of formal learning. If we're ever going to do that, we definitely are going to take a very unschooly approach to learning. We very clearly know that children do best learning, going off of their interests in their own time, with a huge amount of learning through play, especially in the younger years. So Ezzy has shown in the last kind of few months a real interest in wanting to work out what reading is and what writing is. We read a huge amount together. We're constantly reading books. So we're basically a screen-free family as far as Ezzy is concerned. We put a lot of energy into not being on screens around him as much as possible, and I'm very clear on my phone usage around him and not having phones at the dinner table and all of that. He has very minimal screen time, and it'll continue to be that case until he's a lot older. So at the moment he has like 2 or 3 minutes of screen time a day when he's brushing his teeth, because it was just a battleground. So we find interesting kind of educational, I guess, videos on YouTube that he's really interested in, like kids diving into the ocean and like cuttlefish and random things that he's interested in while he's brushing his teeth, and it's just been so easeful to do that. But that's the extent of his screen time, really. So a lot of the resources I've been looking at have been within that kind of Waldorfy vibe. And also I've picked up a few things recently. I've actually got a pile of stuff here and I wanted to do a bit of an unboxing with you today. So I've picked up, because of his interest in wanting to read, he's really asking what the symbols mean, wanting to learn the alphabet song, pretending to write next to me when I'm like writing in my journal in the morning and stuff. So I can tell that he's like heading in the direction of really being interested in this stuff. And I have never taught anybody to read before, and I kind of wanted some resources behind me, high quality resources behind me that I could just kind of like pick from and use along the way. So some of my local lovely homeschool mamas recommended the curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful, which is a US based curriculum. We're not a religious family. It has a very gentle undertone of Christianity in there, but you know, it's nothing major, and so we'll just pick and choose the bits of that we want to involve Ezzy in. So I've got the preschool literacy curriculum that I got posted here. The postage to Australia is very expensive, so it worked out a pretty big investment, but I think it will be really useful as far as teaching him to read. I also, what else have I got? I picked up from them a, here, let's just start unboxing it and then you can have a look. Oh. So this is our box of curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful. I've got double in here because I picked up for a friend as well who has children of the same age. So we shared the postage together. So I'll just show you our set. It's an amazing resource, especially if you're in the US. The postage would be, I think they do free postage for a lot of things, but they also offer a huge amount of their curriculums printable, like PDF curriculums for free, which is such a gift. So what have we got in here? Wow. Put that over here. So as I mentioned, we've got double because I purchased with a friend. It's so exciting. Okay. So the first thing that I can see here is we both picked up part 1 of the Doodles pre-writing course. It's very sweet little projects, and one of the things that, like, kind of worksheet style, coloring in, dot to dots, this kind of thing, basically pencil, learning how to hold the pencil, and yeah, using different worksheets to do that. Very simple, and I thought Ezzy would just really enjoy doing this from time to time, so I picked up this for him. So that's the part 1 of the Doodles pre-writing. And then this is the preschool course book, as you can see here. And this is very much a pick up and go curriculum. So my thought process behind this is that we will include it in our morning basket, and my plan is to have a little rhythm where in the mornings when we're at home and not going on outings, which is probably 2 or 3 days a week, we will have this is part of our morning basket where we read a book together. We maybe do a puzzle together as well, because Ezzy's really into puzzles, and then we'll do a lesson from here if it's something that he's vibing with at the time. So it's basically just lots and lots of worksheets of fun games to play where you're learning the letters and the sounds. So I really like this because their like illustrations are so beautiful. I also love the fact that I don't have to pre-organize everything. They basically give you a list of all of the things that would be helpful for you to have available, like little kind of beans as counters and pencils and all of that, and then you have everything you need. You can literally just go to the next lesson and start, and I really appreciate that. I haven't homeschooled anybody before, and so this felt really comforting just to have something to fall back on. I have no idea if we're going to end up using it. I know that we're not going to be doing like a lesson a day. That's just not kind of the way that we vibe. It also came with these practice sheets. So they're basically lots of colouring in and worksheets that go alongside the course book. So cute. And look at those illustrations, they're so sweet. So it's fun, it's not too daunting, it's very simple for the parents, which is really nice. The other thing is it comes with this plastic collection of folder activities, and inside here I believe is all of the games and like the stories and everything that you need for the course. So these align with different lessons throughout. So like one says mouse house, otter ponds, letter boats. Can't read what that one says, but yeah, it's just a folder with everything, and I believe that they're all perforated and you just kind of push them out of the cardboard and then place them in the folder. So that is very exciting. So that's what we have from the Good and the Beautiful. I have also picked up a few things to add to our morning basket. So I went on a little book mission on Amazon. I really would love to, within our morning basket kind of homeschool situation, read a nature-based story. I'm just going to rip this open. It's going to be really noisy. So I picked up 2 new books to include inside our morning basket. I've actually wanted to get these books for a while now. That's Slow Down and Be Here Now. Both of these are illustrated by Freya Hartis, and then they have different writers. So this first one was written by Rachel Williams, and then the second one was written by Laura Brand. I wonder if that's Russell Brand's wife. It might well be. Anyway, these I've heard really good things about, and the plan with these is basically as part of our homeschool morning basket, we'll read a story, and they're all short stories based on nature and the natural world. So, for example, a bee pollinating a flower, and they've got the most beautiful illustrations. So I think this will be a really lovely addition. This one's about ducks. A really beautiful addition to our homeschool morning basket, and just a little routine ritual to start our homeschool morning. I also have a lovely poetry book as well. I'll just have a look at this one too. Wow, it's so beautiful. Fireflies. I also have a lovely poetry book as well, because we're in the southern hemisphere, we have to flip it a little. It's basically a 365 days of nature poetry, and it's done on the months, and so I flip it. So at the moment we're in May, and I'm reading from November, so that the seasons align. But every time that we sit down and do our morning basket, we've been reading some of those poems together, and that's been really beautiful. So I think a poem, one of these stories from one of these books here, and then a lesson or an activity of some kind will be our kind of rhythm for this year. I've also, as part of like the reading experience, these might be a little bit old for Ezzy right now, but I really wanted to pick up some kind of early reading books, like a series of early reading books, and a friend recommended to me this set, which I actually found secondhand on eBay. So let's get these out of here. So these ones are the Ladybird books with Peter and Jane. Super cute, old school. It's one of the modern prints, but there's 36 books here, and they basically are marked 1A, 1B, 1C all the way through to 12A, 12B, 12C, and they get harder based on the reading level. So these are what the books look like. They're such sweet illustrations. I don't know, I remember these, or similar, from being a child. Yeah, so it's basically, they just get harder to read as you go along. This is the first book. So this is going to be added into our little homeschooling corner in our tiny house. And will be a really fantastic resource for us to pull from when Ezzy's ready for that stage. It's a bit ahead of where he is right now, but I just wanted to kind of get that ready. I also have purchased, and we may end up using this spring, this winter, which will be our June, or next winter. It works for children aged 3 to 5, I believe. But we also purchased the Southern Hemisphere Winter Rhythm from Little Oak Learning, I believe she's called. She's a UK-based nature schooler, curriculum rhythm creator, and homeschooling mum. And so we also purchased that, which we will probably pull from a little bit in this winter as well. It's a PDF, and I have sent it off to get printed at a local printer, so that will be arriving soon as well. That's a very like Waldorf themed homeschooling rhythm, very seasonally based. So she has a spring, summer, autumn and winter, and she has a northern hemisphere version and a southern hemisphere version, which is amazing. So I've purchased the southern hemisphere winter for that, and it's basically, I think it's 5 every week for 3 months, so we can totally use it for multiple winters, because we won't be doing one a day Monday to Friday, but it has beautiful stories and poems and like nature walk themes and things like that within there. So I think we're going to do a little hybrid mixture of all of these things and just ease in really slowly to a homeschooling rhythm that works for us. And we might not end up using many of these resources this year, but it's just starting to integrate a regular homeschooling rhythm into our week as he's heading into his 3rd year. Also including some homeschool get-togethers and gatherings, because I think that's kind of social aspect of homeschooling so beneficial. So yeah, I'm so excited to share a little bit more about this journey with you guys. I'll be uploading from time to time when I have anything to share. I've also started doing monthly rundowns of my homeschooling experience and what we've been doing, what we've been learning over on my little blog. I'll link it down below in the doobly-doo. So if you would like to read that as well, you're most welcome to. I've also set up a kind of regularly updated book list of books that we've been really enjoying, as well, as reading is just such a massive part of our family life, homeschool life, whatever you want to call it. So you'll be able to find a link down below as well. But until then, I hope you're having a beautiful day, whether or not you're in autumn or spring or somewhere in the middle. Sending you lots of love, and we'll chat again soon. Bye.